Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Quick video today talking to you about the rear heat and how it's being fed. In this case an '04 Chevy Suburban, but pretty sure covers multiple years. What normally happens is you see in the back here, those two tubes right here, 1, 2, those are your heater core that go inside behind the firewall. So this is the front of the engine. This is an 8.1, it's an '04 Suburban, it's an 8.1 liter. So it's a big engine, so it's not probably have more space if the engine was smaller, but I prefer this engine for towing. But anyway, so these two hoses right here that I'm pointing with the screwdriver, these pipes actually go down to your rear heat. So what normally happens is you have these fittings that I've already taken off. This one will go on the left side, and this piece connects to the leftmost. That piece in the back, that's up, goes in the back, and then in my case it was already replaced. This truck has almost 200,000 miles on it. This is actually the heater hose. You can see right here would have gone on like that with a regular hose clamp. These are a pain to get off. They were really hard. I watched a couple videos, ended up doing what some people recommended doing, and that was basically breaking the clip. So this clip, like I said, normally right here would go, and right where my finger is are some clips that hold it in there. These guys right here. This would, I'm not going to put it back on because I don't want to get it, but these would be basically go right here. So what I ended up doing was basically snapping the clip right there. And on the other side I didn't have to do it, but on this one on top I did. This one's way against the firewall. You think with a truck this big they give you a little bit of space, but boy, they don't. It's tight. So I got this one on the left off first. And the reason I was doing this is I was having a slow leak about where the paper towel is. Something was dripping very slowly, and I couldn't see it, but I could smell it when the engine was hot. And it was just gradually dripping. So the piece that came off was actually this piece here. And this would have gone like this. Sorry. And this piece actually broke. But you can see this is supposed to be clear. Shining the light. This should be clear, and it's this shade of brown, which I think is probably due to the Dex Cool coolant just staining it. And you can see here I broke a little bit off, but it was really brittle. So I think this is where my leak was. So since it's, you know, like I said, I got almost 200,000 miles on it. I don't know if these ever been changed. I really would not want to do these on the side of the road. This would be a real pain. Not to mention, if you were running it and it broke, the engine would be so hot back there. And this one especially, this is a big, it's an 8.1, so it's big and tight. So your hands would be back there, you know, with the size of this engine, your hands would be right back there with the engine. I would assume if you had a 6 liter or even a 5.3, it's a little more room, but still tight. But it's a pain. So I would recommend basically doing what I did, what some other folks have done, is basically get a screwdriver and just break that little tang off. And if you have to, this side, but be really careful because that's aluminum. You don't want to bend it. You don't want to puncture it or scrape it or do anything weird like that if you get really aggressive. So just be real easy on it. And then at some point, I actually just used a pair of diagonal cutters and cut the plastic. And then once you get the plastic off, you can wiggle it off. These pipes have a little bit of, see, they have a little bit of room there, but not much. So you want to be careful. Be careful with that. So I'm going to go probably head to the parts store and tomorrow and get the replacement parts. I should just be putting it back together. This, you can see I moved the harness. That actually goes onto that stud right there. There's a clip that holds it on, and there's a clip back there that holds that one on. There's not much room, and on this motor the harness doesn't really have much slack. I'm not sure on different motors if you have better luck, but I'm actually going to replace the heater hoses, which is this guy here and this guy here at the same time. Not going to mess around putting old hoses back on. Rather take the time now and do it. Since I pretty much have it off and don't want to have to do this again anytime soon. But if you have a leak, there's a place to look into. If it's around the back of the block, at first I thought I had a freeze plug or something leaking at the back of the block. I'm glad this, hopefully it's just this. This was definitely not helping things, but as you can see, it gets pretty brittle. It broke pretty easily when I was trying to get it off. And like I said, that's the part that goes on the hose, so that was definitely brittle. I wouldn't doubt if these are original. Or if they've been on for a long time, because that one especially is all different colors and stuff like that. But anyway, hope this helps. Just take your time. It's a real pain. I ended up laying across the front of the motor and had my feet hanging off. And just got in there gently with the screwdriver and just pried a little bit. I'm pretty sure the plastic clips that you see left on there actually will come off with the new kit, but I haven't bought the new parts yet. But based on what I see online, the picture actually comes with new clips, and I'm assuming new O-rings. So I'm going to wait to take the rest of this apart until I get the new parts in case I have to reuse anything. And then when that happens, I'll probably, if I don't have to, I'll take that out, clean it up, wipe it down, and then go from there. Incidentally, if you need to pressurize your system, which is how I found the leak, this is a Harbor Freight kit. It works really well. I know everybody has their opinion about Harbor Freight, but for me, this actually worked really well, and I pumped it up to about 15 psi and started seeing a leak underneath the truck within a little bit of time, and that was it. And then it has all these. Got this kit to show you which one it is, in case you're interested. It's just their radiator hose, radiator pressure test kit. It's got all these adapters. This is an 04 Suburban, so it uses the green one and has this universal fit. Now, like I said, I'm sure if you're a mechanic, you're doing this all the time. Maybe this isn't the high quality that you're looking to use, but for me, the price it probably would have cost somebody to diagnose this problem, I just paid for the kit itself. So for me, it's worth it. Whatever you have to test pressure would probably help you with find a leak as well. But anyway, I wanted to pass that along. I'll try to leave a link in the description if you want to look at that or one like it. But yeah, and actually these two, if you need to buy these I'm going to get from GM. I had a recommendation not to buy the Dorman ones. I've never tried either one, but the reality is they're not cheap. I think when I saw them, they're like $30 a piece, which is, so you need two of them. That's a lot of money for a piece of plastic and some O-rings. But I'm going to try the dealer and see what they have, and then if not, order them up. Honestly, even if Dorman's half the cost, and once again, Dorman's like Harbor Freight. Some people have a lot of luck with them, some people don't. I happen to be okay with Harbor Freight stuff, and I'd be okay with Dorman stuff if this wasn't such a pain to get off, and I don't need to be broken down on the side of the road. So I'm going to pay a little bit extra and get the GM version. But if you have the Dorman or another brand, I can't really say good or bad, but in this case, I'm going to put GM because if these are original, they've lasted almost 200,000 miles, and the one was actually still working. The other one was the other one that's leaking, like I said, this one here. So, and it didn't break. It broke as I was taking it off because it was really brittle. You can see this plastic is just all jagged on the edge there. It's pretty brittle. But anyway, I hope this helps. So I'm going to be into it probably for maybe $150. Maybe need a gallon of coolant when I'm done, or just to top it off. But it's like I said, for me to do this at a shop cost me a lot more, and I'm not in desperate need to get it done so I can wait on the parts on this vehicle. So I'm going to do the hoses, like I said, while I'm at it. This way you can actually, this is actually where I thought my problem was. See how high that hose clamp was right on the end? I didn't even cut this. I thought that was it, and it unfortunately was not. Although I'm sure it wasn't the best clamping job because I was right towards the end. But, quick update here, moving right along. I'm going to put a little extra on the back end of this video. So you remember that the adapters for the coolant lines to go to the rear, there was one of them we took off last time. Here's part of the other one. Now that one, see how nice and white or off-white that is. Here's what it used to look like, and actually in two pieces. So these are pretty straightforward. What you want to do is make sure you get all the parts and pieces off. So all that is left is this rib on the pipe going down to the rear AC. This is on an 04 Suburban. And I just wiped it down with some Simple Green just to clean off anything, just so there was no grease. I already have one, so what I did is I basically put it on the, I'll show you with the different one, but basically put it on the hose going down to the rear, and then clicked it on the heater core, made sure both are connected, and now I'm ready to go on the front. And I got the second one here, do the same thing. I'll click it on the heater core hose going to the rear, and then I'll click it on the heater core that goes in, and then I'll attach my hose. I'll be okay. These are the part numbers here. This I believe was the black one, which is the one on the left. And this, I believe, was the one on the right, or I may have those reversed, but there's the one part number, the other part number here. Yes, this one's the black one, sorry. So this one came in here, and then that was there's the part number for me for the one on the right. So that's the light colored one, the whitish almost. Almost looks a little, has a green tinge to it, but it might just be the light I have. So there are your part numbers there. I ordered these from Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. These I always recommended genuine GM stuff, and quite honestly, like I said in the last video, I didn't want to take the chance on some aftermarket stuff. For all I know, they're made in the same factory, but end up going there. I'm sure you can go down to your GM dealer. I can't imagine they've changed these over the years too much. You know, this is probably pretty common, and I would assume anything with rear heat. So Suburbans for sure. And yeah, so these are the parts. Roughly $30 a piece for what they are. They're a little pricey. You have to make sure you get all your other pieces off. So for instance, I had, you know, this stuff after I was done was still left on. It wasn't that dirty. It was sitting on the workbench here, but was sitting on the pipes. So I want to make sure you get all those O-rings and the clips off. And I found that if you get the O-ring off, the clip slides off much easier. So we're going to go ahead and take care of this second one. Like I said, what I'm going to do, it's going to be hard to do with one hand. So this is how it goes. There's the bottom. Click that on this hose that's open with my finger. Give it a tug, make sure it's okay. And then click this on the back. Give it a tug, make sure it's okay. And then we're good to go. And we're going to hook the coolant lines up and be ready to go. I'm going to save. I was going to replace coolant lines. I'm going to save on that until I actually going to replace some other lines as well. I have to do a little research. This line here looks like it was replaced once before, but it looks like the one from GM you actually buy as it goes to the overfill bottle and the water heater. Sorry, the overfill bottle and the radiator. So I got to look into that a little bit. This weird spider type looking hose I've never seen, octopus looking. But someone's replaced on it once before because there's actually a hose clamp down low that I wouldn't be able to show you. And then this guy here I think is original. But or if it's been replaced, it's been a while. But I want to do a little more research. I'll probably replace the upper and lower radiator hose at the same time, which is the lower is part of that spider. It may clean out this coolant bottle, but I don't have the time to do that today. So that's going to be another time. But for today, we're going to get this in, and I'll join you in a second. All right, here we are all finished up. Got the wiring harness up, tucked out of the way. You can see it clips right on those studs that come out. There's those little plastic clips. These will slide right up onto them so it stays out of the way. Not really. I move that hose clamp just so it's not rubbing. It's sort of a pain to get to. I'm probably going to get different hoses. This one's obviously a little short. It's always been short. And this one has been replaced before. They're not the originals, so since I do some towing with this, I just want to make sure everything's in good shape. But I need to order up the upper and lower radiator hoses, which this lower is part of the lower hose. This hose is part of the lower radiator hose. I can't really show you because you can't see. Radiator hose. It's like an octopus. It's got a couple hoses coming off it. But I got a pressure holding on it for about maybe 5-10 minutes, and we're about right about 15. Maybe we dropped a hair, but we're going to be okay. I'm going to start it up, see if we have any leaks. I don't see anything dripping. I don't smell anything. That's when I would see it before, is when we were smelling things, or when I would smell it when it was running. So we'll try that and see how we do. But that's pretty much it. You can see they tuck right up in there. I did both of them, like I said. They're on there nice and tight. You can give them a little tug. Don't go crazy, but you can give a little tug. And aside from being a pain to get to, it's a really easy fix. The one thing, you can squeeze these tabs here, these two little fingers here and here. I can do it on the new ones. The old ones just wouldn't let loose. So I don't know if the O-ring swelled or something like that. I just couldn't get them. I ended up having to crack them like you saw in the other video. But for now, we'll see how this does. This should, like I said, I got almost 200,000 miles on it, so one of them looked pretty brown. I can't imagine that's not the original. Maybe the other one's been replaced since there's a hose clamp. The black one had a hose clamp. But we'll see how it does. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, tag, and subscribe.